Now, there was another notable casualty on the Australian corporate landscape this week. The high-tech weapons developer Metalstorm finally capitulated and called in the administrators. Here's a snippet of the Metalstorm vision.
Imagine a gun that fires over 1 million rounds a minute. Now, picture a gun that fires a 40-millimeter grenade at a rate of 4,000 rounds every second. And what you have is Metalstorm.
And Tom, this company created a bit of a splash when it was first trying to build a profile and raise money. You went to one of a much more memorable investor presentation.
Oh, well, I did. And look, at the risk of a terrible pun, this has been one of the biggest gunner companies on the Australian Stock Exchange for years. It was going to do this, it was going to do that. It was floated in the late 90s, and I've seen that film, and it's quite old now. The fact is, they've always been an R&D company. They've never been able to commercialise their R&D. The idea that you can fire 1 million rounds a minute or whatever it is sounds great, but they've never turned anything they've made into a profitable product, and that has been Metalstorm's great problem. So I'm actually surprised it's lasted as long as it has.
Roger, have you been following the stock?
Well, no, I don't, and for a number of reasons. Primarily, it wouldn't pass my ethical filters, so I couldn't buy it. And I think other fund managers may have balked at any capital raising that this company needed to engage in. It was like a mining exploration business, as Tom said. R&D companies need additional capital, and I don't think the stock market was willing to support it because of what they were out to do.
And this is despite the company's board, I think, having generals, admirals on board to try to sell, to get those big American contracts. And it couldn't convince the US military-industrial complex, so it had really no chance of getting through.
No, but it didn't. But it didn't realise what the politics are like. The idea that a small Australian company could somehow sell its wares into the American Defence Organisation was just perhaps silly, naive, overly positive. Look, as it is, there are so many companies like this, whether it's drugs, guns or whatever, sadly in this case. Again, it's lasted more than a decade, and that's probably actually a credit to it in some way.